Nintendo has just been sued in 2026. We are barely 2 weeks into the new year. 2 weeks! Most of you are still detoxing from the holiday eggnog, you're still writing 2025 on your rent checks, and the big N, they are already in the mud. They are already getting dragged into the federal spotlight for being absolute ghouls. I want you to listen to me very carefully because the media cycle is going to try and bury this. They're going to distract you with shiny trailers. They're going to dangle a new Zelda teaser, or some Switch 2 rumors in front of your face like keys in front of a toddler. Do not look at the keys, look at the court docket. We have fresh reports coming out of the National Labor Relations Board, specifically Region 19 in Seattle, confirming that Nintendo of America and their favorite staffing henchman, a company called Tech Systems, have been slapped with federal labor complaints. The first one hit on December 9th, 2025. The second one dropped on January 6th, 2026. Happy New Year, Doug Bowser. Here's a subpoena. And let me be crystal clear before the Nintendo Defense Force starts typing their thesis papers in the comments. Tekabentabo, this is the federal government investigating a multi-billion-dollar corporation for allegedly violating the fundamental human rights of the people who build the games you worship. The charges filed are violations of the National Labor Relations Act, NLRA, specifically Section 8A1 and Section 8A4. Now, I know some of you hear Section 8A1 and your brain shuts off. Wake up! This is the weapon they use against you. This is the language of the enemy. You need to speak it to fight it. Section 8A1 is the intimidation clause. It prohibits employers from interfering with, restraining, or coercing employees who are exercising their rights to organize. When you see an 8A1 charge, it means management has taken the gloves off. It means they are allegedly using fear as a management tool. So you want to discuss your wages? Silence. You want to talk about why the contractors don't get health insurance? Silence. You want to form a union? Threats. This is the standard playbook for these massive tech giants. They don't see workers, they see resources. They see burn rate. And when the resources start talking to each other, when the resources start realizing they have power, the company panics, they start issuing threats, they start the surveillance, but then we get to the nasty one. Section 8A4. This is the retaliation clause. This section makes it illegal to discharge or discriminate against an employee because they filed charges or gave testimony. Do you understand what that implies? It implies that someone at Nintendo or Tech Systems stood up. Someone had the courage to go to the NLRB and say, hey, this is illegal. And instead of fixing the problem, the company allegedly punished them for it. Oh, you talked to the feds. Pack your desk. You're done. Your badge doesn't work anymore. That is gangster behavior. That is straight up organized crime tactics disguised as at-will employment. And let's talk about Tech Systems. Nintendo loves these staffing firms. In 2022, it was Aston Carter. Now it's Tech Systems. Why? Why don't they just hire people? Because of plausible deniability. Nintendo hires Tech Systems. Tech Systems hires the testers. The testers work at Nintendo, on Nintendo games, under Nintendo managers, in Nintendo buildings. But on paper, oh, they aren't our employees. So when the lawsuit hits, Nintendo can throw up their hands and say, we had no idea. That's a vendor issue. It is a way to extract maximum value from human beings, crunching them on Metroid Prime 4 or the Switch 2 launch titles, while taking zero responsibility for their well-being. And we have seen this before. 2022. The Mackenzie Clifton case. Let me refresh your memory because the internet has the attention span of a goldfish. Mackenzie Clifton was a tester. They asked Doug Bowser, the president of Nintendo of America, a question. One question, what is Noe's stance on unions? And what happened? Terminated. Nintendo and Aston Carter settled that case. They paid out $26,000. Do you know how insulting that is? Nintendo makes $26,000 every time Mario blinks. It's hush money to keep the internal emails from coming out in Discovery. They settled because they knew if they went to trial, the public would see the rot inside the system. And now, here we are in 2026. Same story, different year. But maybe you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't work there, so who cares? I just want to play my games. First of all, you're part of the problem. Second of all, they hate you too. While their lawyers were busy crushing labor rights in Seattle, their moderation team in Japan was busy nuking 5 years of fan history in Animal Crossing New Horizons. We need to talk about Adults Island, Otonatachi no Shima. This place was legendary. It was a cultural monument in the Japanese streaming sphere. Created by a user named @SharipCCC, this island had been running since 20. It survived the pandemic, it survived the content droughts, and what was it? It was a gritty, neon-soaked, hyper-detailed recreation of a Japanese red light district. We're talking Kabukicho vibes. We're talking the Showa era aesthetic. Love hotels with rose petal beds and jacuzzi jacuzzis, strip clubs implied through clever lighting, pachinko parlors filled with smoke and noise, free information centers, which, if you know anything about Japanese nightlife, are the hubs where you find companionship. Now, did they hack the game to make this? No. Did they insert illegal assets? No. They used creativity. They took the gallant statue, Michelangelo's David, literal high art, and they positioned neon palm trees in front of it to censor the groin area. That is genius. That is creatively crass. They used custom designs on simple panels to create the signage for the Love Attack sauna. They had a villager drop a line about Isabel smoking 7-star cigarettes. That is funny. That is the community taking a sterile, E-rated sandbox and using it to tell a different kind of story. It was art. And what did Nintendo do? Delete. Just days before a new update, rumored to be the back-end prep for the Switch 2 transfer protocols, they wiped it. 5 years of work, gone. The dream address, dead. And the creator's response, they went on X, Twitter, and posted, Nintendo, I apologize from the bottom of my heart, or rather, thank you for turning a blind eye these past 5 years. Thank you for turning a blind eye. Are you hearing this? This creator is thanking the corporation for allowing them to exist. This is battered gamer syndrome. Thank you, Daddy Nintendo, for not deleting my hard work sooner. Thank you for letting me have my little fun before you crushed it. It's pathetic. Not on the creator's part, I feel for them, but on ours. We have accepted this reality where we don't own anything. You don't own your island. You don't own your game. You are renting a license to play in their walled garden. And the second you plant a flower they don't like, the second you make a joke they don't approve of, scorched earth. They want a sanitized, Disney-fied metaverse. They want brand safety. They don't want creativity, they want conformity. They want you to build the same cute little cafe that everyone else builds so they can put it in a commercial. But something edgy, something with a love hotel, nuke it. We have a new report from Ryoichi Hasegawa, a former producer at Sega. He was there for the history books. He was there for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. This was the crossover of the century. The red plumber and the blue blur. The 90s console war finally ending in a handshake. But Nintendo? Nintendo doesn't do handshakes. They do submission holds. Hasegawa revealed that during the development of the box art and promotional materials, there was a deal-breaking crisis. Was it about revenue split? No. Was it about game mechanics? No. It was about feet. Nintendo looked at the artwork and saw that Sonic's foot was visually overlapping Mario's foot. Sonic's shoe was in front of Mario's boot, and they lost their minds. Hasegawa said, Nintendo demanded us to change the priority. We were like, oh my god, we have to change it or there will be no deal. No deal. They were willing to torpedo a multi-million-dollar historic partnership because their mascot's shoe was in the background layer of a JPEG. They need to be the alpha. They need to be the top dog. Mario cannot be behind. Mario must be the visual priority. It's a dominance display. It's like a dog pissing on every tree in the park. They are so terrified of losing their grip on the throne that they micromanage the Z-axis of a promotional image. It's petty. It's small. It's the behavior of a tyrant who knows their power is fragile. If they are this petty about a shoe, imagine how petty they are about a union contract. If they are this controlling about a JPEG, imagine how controlling they are about their workers' bathroom breaks.